In just a single year, the Philippines has undergone a transformation that few could have predicted. Once known primarily as an energy importer, dependent on foreign oil to fuel its cities and industries, the nation has now taken a bold leap forward. Today, the Philippines stands as the world's second-largest oil producer, a meteoric rise that has upended the established global energy order and sent shockwaves through international markets. The turning point came with the discovery of the Apalaki Superbasin. This vast reserve, hidden beneath Philippine waters, shattered decades-old assumptions about the region's potential. Experts now rank these reserves among the most significant energy finds of the century, rivaling even the legendary oil fields of the Middle East. Harnessing advanced drilling technology, Filipino engineers and international partners unlocked these deepwater resources. The result was an overnight transformation of the nation's economic prospects, creating new jobs, industries, and opportunities for millions. Now, Filipino oil flows to every corner of the globe. Tankers depart daily, redrawing shipping routes and forging new alliances. As the Philippines becomes a central player in energy geopolitics, old rivalries are being redefined and new partnerships are emerging. For everyday consumers, this energy revolution means more than just headlines. It brings increased supply and lower fuel prices at the pump, easing the cost of living and powering economic growth. For traditional oil-producing giants, however, the rise of the Philippines signals the arrival of a formidable new competitor. Established producers now face tough choices as they adapt to a rapidly changing market. The Philippines' ascent is already putting downward pressure on global oil prices, challenging the dominance of petrostates and shifting the balance of power in the energy world. Investors and analysts are watching closely as markets adjust to this new reality. Each barrel of oil exported from the Philippines is more than just a commodity, it's a symbol of a new era. As the world adapts, these shipments mark the beginning of a historic shift in energy history. This is the remarkable story of how a nation once on the periphery has emerged as a global energy superpower, reshaping its destiny and the future of the world's energy landscape. The world is watching with anticipation as the Philippines redefines what's possible, inspiring nations everywhere to rethink their own energy futures. The Apalaki Superbasin is a game-changer, over 200 billion barrels of light, sweet crude, making it one of the largest petroleum systems ever found. Advanced seismic imaging and deepwater drilling revealed vast interconnected reservoirs beneath the Philippine Sea. The oil's premium quality gives Filipino crude a competitive edge, especially in Asia's energy-hungry markets. The Philippine National Petroleum Corporation, in partnership with global giants, rapidly mobilized to develop the resource. This public-private model combines state oversight with international expertise, accelerating production at record speed. The Apalaki discovery has set a new benchmark for large-scale energy projects worldwide. The Philippines has become a model for efficient, high-tech resource development. The Philippines' oil production story is nothing short of extraordinary. In a country once known for importing nearly all of its energy, oil production soared from virtually zero to over 11 million barrels per day in just 18 months. A feat with no historical parallel in the global energy sector. This explosive growth stunned analysts and industry veterans alike, as the nation leapfrogged decades of typical development. The secret to this rapid ascent? Floating production, storage, and offloading vessels, FPSOs, enabled the Philippines to deploy extraction technology at an unprecedented pace, bypassing the years of planning and construction required for traditional onshore infrastructure. These floating giants became the backbone of the country's oil revolution. By mid-2025, output stabilized at an astonishing 11.8 million barrels daily, instantly disrupting global markets and even surpassing established oil giants like Russia and Saudi Arabia. The Philippines was now a key player, its influence felt in every corner of the energy world. High reservoir pressure and a modular FPSO strategy allowed for simultaneous expansion across the entire basin. New wells came online almost weekly, each one adding to the nation's surging output. The government and private sector mobilized global expertise and surplus equipment from around the world, compressing what would normally take decades of development into just a matter of months. International teams worked around the clock, training local talent and ensuring every piece of equipment was put to use. To handle this tidal wave of oil, massive port expansions and a dedicated fleet of tankers were launched. New terminals sprang up along the coast, ensuring seamless logistics from sea to global markets, and making the Philippines a vital hub in the world's oil supply chain. The Philippines' meteoric rise has forced the world to adjust to a new energy powerhouse. Energy conferences, newsrooms, and boardrooms everywhere buzzed with talk of the Philippine oil boom as analysts scrambled to update forecasts and strategies. Today, the country's oil flows steadily into the global system, reshaping supply chains and market expectations. Shipping routes have been redrawn, and new partnerships are being forged as nations seek access to this new source of energy. This rapid transformation is rewriting the rules of the oil industry. Companies and governments alike are rethinking their strategies as the Philippines' success story becomes a blueprint for future energy development. The world is still catching up to the scale and speed of the Philippine oil revolution. As headlines continue to break and leaders react, one thing is clear: the Philippines has forever changed the landscape of global energy. The Philippines has overtaken Russia as the world's second-largest oil producer, but the contrast goes deeper than numbers. While Russia's output is spread across thousands of aging wells, the Philippines achieves higher production from a few hundred advanced deep-water sites. Filipino crude's light, sweet quality gives it a market advantage over Russia's heavier exports. The shift weakens Russia's geopolitical leverage, especially in Europe and Asia, as buyers diversify away from Moscow. Lower global prices are straining Russia's economy, while the Philippines enjoys a surge in growth and fiscal strength. The fortunes of these two nations are now inversely linked. One's rise is the other's challenge. The Philippines' oil boom is reshaping economic and political power on the world stage. A new energy order is emerging, with Manila at its center. The Apalaki discovery has triggered a rapid economic transformation in the Philippines. The country now enjoys a massive trade surplus, a strong peso, and record foreign investment. Oil revenues fund the Bagong Liwanag program, modernizing infrastructure, healthcare, and education. A reverse brain drain is underway as skilled Filipinos return home for high-paying jobs in the booming energy sector. The Maharlika Sovereign Wealth Fund invests oil wealth for future generations, stabilizing the economy and supporting long-term growth. The oil boom is lifting millions into the middle class and reshaping the nation's future. The Philippines is building a legacy of prosperity and stability from its newfound resource wealth. The Philippines' energy surge is redrawing the geopolitical map of the Asia-Pacific region. Once considered a minor player in the global energy market, the Philippines is now emerging as a pivotal force, thanks to its newfound oil reserves and rapidly expanding energy infrastructure. This transformation is not just about economics, it's about power, influence, and the shifting alliances that define the region. The United States now sees a stronger, energy-rich ally in Manila, eager to deepen military and economic cooperation. At the same time, China is intensifying its diplomatic outreach, seeking closer ties to secure a steady flow of oil and to ensure its own energy security. Both superpowers recognize that the Philippines' energy boom could tip the balance of power in the region. The Philippines' newfound clout complicates China's regional ambitions, especially in the contested waters of the South China Sea. With greater energy resources and international backing, Manila is more assertive in defending its maritime claims, making the region a flashpoint for potential conflict and negotiation. Within ASEAN, Manila has taken a leadership role, spearheading the ASEAN Energy Security Pact. By leveraging its oil wealth, the Philippines is fostering greater regional stability, encouraging economic integration, and building a collective approach to energy security that benefits all member states. Asian giants like Japan and South Korea are now shifting long-term contracts to Filipino crude, reducing their dependence on traditional suppliers in the Middle East and Russia. This diversification not only strengthens their own energy security but also deepens economic ties with Manila. The Philippines is rapidly becoming the anchor of energy security in Southeast Asia, with new storage facilities, pipelines, and export terminals positioning it as the region's primary energy hub. New trade routes and strategic alliances are forming around Apalaki oil, reshaping the flow of energy across the Asia-Pacific and creating new opportunities for cooperation and competition. The region's energy landscape is now more resilient and diversified than ever before, with investments pouring into not just oil, but also renewables like solar and wind, ensuring a balanced and sustainable future. The Philippines' rise is fundamentally reshaping the balance of power across the Indo-Pacific, as nations recalibrate their strategies and alliances to adapt to this new reality. As Manila steps onto the world stage as a central player in global energy, the world is watching closely. The Philippines' ascent is not just a national triumph, It's a catalyst for a new era of geopolitical realignment in the Asia-Pacific and beyond. Nearly 12 million new barrels per day from the Philippines have sent global oil prices tumbling. OPEC Plus faces a crisis of relevance, unable to counter the sheer scale of Filipino production. Asian refiners are shifting away from traditional suppliers, forcing Middle Eastern and Russian oil into new, less profitable markets. The global oil trade is being rerouted, with tankers and pricing benchmarks adapting to the new reality. Lower prices are squeezing high-cost producers and stalling new projects outside the Philippines. The Philippines is now the world's most critical marginal supplier, setting the pace for global oil markets. The era of triple-digit oil prices is over, for now. The world's energy map has been redrawn by Filipino oil. The Apalaki boom brings environmental risks, especially to the biodiverse Philippine Sea. Strict safety systems, real-time monitoring, and a multi-billion-dollar remediation fund aim to protect fragile ecosystems. The oil windfall challenges the Philippines' climate commitments, raising questions about its green future. Critics warn of fossil fuel dependency, while others see oil wealth as a springboard for renewable investment. The Maharlika Fund is channeling resources into green energy, aiming to make the Philippines a leader in both oil and renewables. The nation faces a delicate balancing act, leveraging oil wealth while building a sustainable future. The world is watching to see if the Philippines can pioneer a hydrocarbon-funded energy transition. The stakes for progress and preservation have never been higher. The Philippines' rise as a global oil titan is one of the most disruptive events in modern energy history. In less than 2 years, it has redefined the global balance of power and catalyzed an economic renaissance at home. Filipino oil has lowered prices, shifted trade flows, and diminished the influence of traditional petrostates. The Apalaki operations efficiency has exposed the vulnerabilities of older producers. The world has entered a new era of energy abundance, driven by an unexpected player. The long-term consequences are still unfolding, but the Philippines has already changed the conversation around energy security. As the world ponders the next chapter, the Philippines stands as proof that transformative change can come from anywhere.